All events were observed by the maid of Arnold Schwarzenegger. There were conflicts, untruths, and instances when Maria was absent from the residence. She served as their most trusted individual for 2 decades. That was the case until 2011, when she undertook an action that surprised everyone. She knelt before Maria and conveyed a falsehood she had maintained for 14 years. This woman's words moved Maria to tears rather than leading to her dismissal. Arnold Schwarzenegger's journey did not begin with beauty, fame, or physical prowess. As one maid has recently revealed insights about his true character and the difficult secret she has held for years. He was born on July 30th, 1947, in the small town of Faul, Austria. Substandard living conditions at home. His father, Gustav, held the position of a police chief and was affiliated with the Nazi regime. He managed the household through intimidation and aggression. Arnold's older brother, Meinhard, received preferential treatment, while Arnold faced ridicule and physical aggression. Gustav expressed skepticism regarding Arnold's identity as his son. Aurelia, his mother, was compelled to solicit for food, and the 3 of them subsisted on remnants. Arnold subsequently indicated that there was considerable stress within the household. He did not attend the funerals for his father in 1972 or his brothers in 1971, following their deaths in an accident attributed to drunk driving. He was profoundly transformed by the scars from his past experiences. They contributed significantly to his resilience. He developed a focus on acquiring influence, achieving success, and assuming leadership roles. At the age of 15, he discovered a sense of relaxation through weightlifting. It did not meet his expectations. He developed a dependency on alcohol, influenced by bodybuilders such as Reg Park and Steve Reeves. He decided to pursue a fitness regimen and subsequently joined a gym in Greg's. He maintained a rigorous workout schedule, exercising 6 days a week, and occasionally found opportunities to train after the gym's closing hours. He exerted more effort than his peers and meticulously recorded each set on the walls. The majority of adolescents maintained friendships. Arnold exhibited eccentric behavior and possessed dumbbells. He dedicated 3 hours each day to his workout routine, completing up to 20 sets for every muscle group. He received feedback from acquaintances indicating that it was excessive. He was indifferent. Despite concerns raised about the potential impact of his training on his health, he increased his workout regimen to demonstrate the validity of his approach. In 1965, he departed from his mandatory military training to participate in and secure victory in the Mr. Europe contest. He was apprehended and confined to military detention for a week, but the message was unequivocal. He intended to proceed regardless. At the age of 20, Arnold achieved the distinction of being the youngest individual to win the Mr. Universe title. Reg Park served as his youthful inspiration, and he triumphed over him. While it brought him to tears, it was not due to sadness. This marked his initial significant recognition for his consistent dedication and effort. In the subsequent years, he achieved 7 Mr. Olympia titles and 4 Mr. Universe crowns. He not only secured victory, but he also outperformed the competition significantly. He achieved 19 significant bodybuilding victories from 1965 to 1980. He expressed his emotions upon losing to Frank Zane in 1968, yet subsequently requested Zane to train alongside him. Our relationship was not based on friendship. It was a strategic arrangement. He was intrigued by the activities of his adversary. Arnold's return to work on Conan the Barbarian in 1980 took many by surprise, and he subsequently secured another Mr. Olympia title, eliciting frustration. Numerous individuals believed that others were more worthy of the title, however Arnold remained indifferent. He demonstrated the intelligence to leverage the rules to his advantage. His defining action in life extends beyond mere lifting. Arnold moved to California in 1968. He was merely 21 years of age. However, he did not attempt to conform as many newcomers typically do. His pronounced Austrian accent remained unchanged, despite receiving advice from industry professionals to eliminate it. Due to the difficulty in pronouncing Schwarzenegger, one director assigned him the pseudonym Arnold Strong. Nonetheless, Arnold recognized that his accent set him apart. It was no longer a matter of concern. It involved more than mere strength. He earned a degree in marketing from the University of Wisconsin, where he focused on business studies. He became a citizen of the United States in 1983. Each action was meticulously planned. Numerous individuals believe that his union with writer and Kennedy family member Maria Shriver in 1986 was also a strategic decision. He acquired respect, influence, and political connections as a result of her contributions. Arnold consistently strategized with foresight, considering multiple steps in advance. His expression of love revealed an unseen aspect, one that had remained concealed. In the United States, his initial long-term relationship was with Barbara Outland Baker. This event occurred in 1969. More than 3 years in Santa Monica, they observed the Apollo 11 landing during their initial date. All aspects appeared to be in excellent condition. While the days spent at the beach, enjoying simple meals, and hosting garden parties were enjoyable, it was overshadowed by Arnold's infidelity. Following their separation in 1974, Barbara discovered, after several years, she authored a book that revealed all the details. He engaged in recreational activities and consumed adult content, and over time he became distant and self-assured. As he gained fame, his ego also expanded. Throughout his training, she remarked that he underwent a complete transformation, describing him as a heartless, self-centered individual. Arnold stated that their duration was never intended to be long-term. She sought stability, while he was prepared to inflict harm to achieve his objectives. Arnold Schwarzenegger portrayed the character Conan the Barbarian in the film released in 1982 and presented as a fully developed action character. However, the individual behind the physical prowess and combat skills had a strong inclination towards leadership. The studio invested $10,000 in 2 custom-made swords, specifically designed for him, due to his exceptional training efforts. Most of his tricks were original creations. The filming in Spain spanned 5 months, during which his pursuit of perfection became well known among the crew. The crew members engaged in discussions about his precise and somewhat inflexible nature. I was fully engaged in my role. He aimed to establish the direction for the remainder of his professional journey, one where Arnold would hold authority, both on television and in reality. Individuals were already cognizant of his treatment of those in his vicinity. Even at that time, following a mere 2 years, the situation deteriorated significantly. Arnold achieved global recognition in 1984 with his role in The Terminator. His sole responsibility was to portray Kyle Reese, the human protagonist. Following his close relationship with director James Cameron, Arnold requested to portray the antagonist, the formidable and relentless killing machine. While it may have seemed unconventional, it proved to be effective. The Terminator transformed an initial investment of $6.4 million into a remarkable $78.3 million in revenue. The robot, characterized by its lack of empathy, garnered significant acclaim from the audience. However, there was an individual behind that intense gaze, who was meticulously crafting his own narrative. He needed to schedule filming for the movie around his commitments to Conan the Destroyer, which primarily occurred during nighttime in Los Angeles. Arnold meticulously planned every scene and movement, rather than simply showing up. The calculated demeanor became an integral aspect of his real-life persona as well. Consistently proactive, composed, and in control, Arnold initiated his life planning in America several years prior to his iconic roles. The Robert F. Kennedy Memorial Tennis Tournament took place in August 1977. He was not engaged in playing tennis. He had no prior experience playing tennis. He attended as he was requested by Eunice Kennedy Shriver. Arnold was aware that Shriver's daughter, Maria Shriver, was a writer hailing from one of the most prominent families in the nation, and was 21 years of age. Henry Arnold was 30 years old. It lacked any semblance of coolness. He informed Eunice that her daughter possesses an attractive figure when she mentioned that Maria had an interest in him. He remarked that it was an unwise comment to make afterward. Despite the circumstances, Maria remained composed. She and her cousin Caroline Kennedy extended an invitation for him to join them in Hyannisport that evening. They initiated a relationship that extended beyond mere romance. It was intended to join the Kennedy family. On April 26, 1986, Schwarzenegger and Maria Shriver were united in marriage in Massachusetts. The wedding was held at St. Francis Xavier Roman Catholic Church, attended by prominent leaders and notable individuals. Arnold perceived this as transcending mere affection. It represented influence. Maria was related to John F. Kennedy, as she was the daughter of Sergeant Schreiber and Eunice Kennedy Schreiber. Arnold, a staunch Republican from Austria, unexpectedly found himself linked to one of the most renowned Democratic families in America. A humorous observation was made regarding the Kennedy family's inclusive approach. Arnold possessed a level of credibility in political environments that was unmatched by any other action star. Engaging in conversation was not the solution. Subsequently, when he decided to pursue the governorship of California, Uncle Teddy was among those who provided assistance. The couple was married and had 4 children together. The presence of Catherine, Christina, Patrick, and Christopher as his children further deepened his connection to the Kennedy family legacy. Nonetheless, that resulted in stress. Arnold held traditional views that often conflicted with the more contemporary values of his new family. After 25 years of marriage, Arnold and Maria have successfully established both a family and a substantial business. Their total worth was $400 million at the time of their separation in 2011. Arnold generated $300 million independently. His journey commenced modestly. He acquired a $10,000 apartment building using funds obtained from selling items and winning weightlifting competitions. Subsequently, he achieved significant financial success through blockbuster films in Hollywood. He collaborated with Willis, Stallone, and Demi Moore to manage the Planet Hollywood enterprise. He commenced engaging in commercial real estate transactions. They hold an interest in the Ohio Easton Town Center Mall. His portfolio featured an investment in the prominent firm Dimensional Fund Advisors. In 1989, he initiated the Arnold Sports Festival, which has evolved into one of the largest fitness events globally. Mildred Patty Batena was not merely another maid. She relocated to Arnold Schwarzenegger's residence in the early 1990s and underwent a significant transformation over the following 2 decades. Beyond mere house cleaning, she had access to confidential areas that were restricted to other staff members. She maintained the family vehicle, managed her own shopping, and was a valued participant at family gatherings. Many individuals in her vicinity observed the strong bond she shared with Arnold. Several individuals indicated that it was evident something was occurring. It was evident that Batena remained an integral aspect of the family's daily routine, maintained unwavering confidence. No one anticipated that this trust would ultimately lead to significant consequences. Her personal life was already challenging. An investor from Colombia, Rogelio Batena, was present during her marriage when she began her professional engagement with the Schwarzeneggers. Their marriage took place in 1987. Rogelio's name appeared on the birth certificate for Joseph in October 1997, despite their separation occurring around that same period. What is the rationale behind this? Rogelio was aware of her association with Arnold. The division occurred in 2008. With the formal conclusion not reached until 2012. After an 11-year gap, an additional 4 years were required to formalize the arrangement. Throughout the entire process, Vienna continued her work in the Schwarzenegger residence. What led her to continually alter the narrative regarding Joseph's father? Individuals in the community believed it was her then-partner, Alex Aguirre. A series of falsehoods was constructed to obscure the underlying truth. Arnold exhibited unkind behavior towards Batena even in the presence of the staff. The process unfolded in a specific manner. It was noted that he frequently overstepped boundaries. In the absence of Maria Shriver, he exhibited inappropriate behavior, made disrespectful remarks on film sets, and engaged in unwanted physical contact with women. In front of the entire group, a question was posed: why does he believe he can evade consequences? Nonetheless, he consistently managed to do so. Maria experienced uncertainty in her domestic environment. She suspected that Arnold had been disloyal with multiple members of the staff. She genuinely did not consider Batena to be among them, which was amusing. Whenever she began to question a member of the staff, that individual typically resigned shortly thereafter. A system appeared to be established discreetly to ensure his safety while maintaining silence among others. There was a vulnerability for Batena. She arrived in the U.S. from Guatemala and needed to maintain her employment. Arnold, in contrast, was widely recognized, affluent, and robust. He appeared in numerous films and subsequently served as the governor of California. Their relationship was not a mere coincidence, given the significant disparities that existed between them. During Maria's absence with the children, the event occurred. In subsequent years, Bettina stated that it had occurred only a few times, approximately 14 years prior, and she believed she had feelings for him. Emotions are not the sole elements present. When a single individual holds all the authority in a relationship, it can lead to feelings of discomfort and distress. As you may have inferred, Bettina was not solely engaged in work-related activities. Families embarked on journeys with her. In addition to conflicts, she was present for celebrations and special occasions. Whatever transpired, she observed. Furthermore, she remained present following the birth of Arnold's secret son, Joseph. She contributed to the upbringing of Arnold's biological children, as well as the child they had together for over 13 years. Maria frequently expressed her distress to Bianca regarding Arnold's infidelity, yet Bianca remained unaware of the situation. In the meantime, Bianca, the individual who had borne his secret child, would offer her solace. "This is Arnold, as he has consistently presented himself," she would state. The lines were hardly discernible any longer. The actions that caused the woman pain were also intended to provide her with comfort. The incident occurred in 1996. It was not an error. Arnold refrained from taking action until Maria and the children were absent. Those instances were not merely coincidental. The matter has been resolved. He formulated plans despite being aware that the house would be unoccupied. He stated that it caused significant harm to many individuals, and was the most regrettable action I had ever taken. Nevertheless, it was not merely an unwise decision. The situation involved a calculated act of betrayal that was strategically exploited. Vienna demonstrated consistent reliability, always present and dependable, that resulted in additional negative consequences. In 1997, Arnold Schwarzenegger experienced a narrative reminiscent of a Hollywood film, yet it was grounded in reality, and the stakes were significantly elevated. Christopher was born on September 27. He is united in marriage with Maria Shriver. Mildred Vienna, his housekeeper, welcomed another son, Joseph, on October 2nd, just 5 days later. Both individuals were born to Arnold. The schedule was unsatisfactory. Arnold was already aware that he had fathered another child with a different woman who was employed in their household, while Maria was still in the process of recovering from childbirth and cherishing the arrival of her baby. Nonetheless, he remained silent. There would be a period of silence lasting over a decade. For 14 years, this surprising reality was concealed beneath celebrations, smiles, photographs, and discussions surrounding family values. However, the timer was sounding. Arnold navigated dual realities simultaneously, despite the perception of those around him as a devoted family man. On the street, he embraced Christopher and expressed gratitude to his friends for their kind wishes. He also presented himself as a content father. He was arranging confidential financial assistance for Joseph and Mildred discreetly. One infant was identified despite both infants being born in the same week and sharing the same father. While Arnold engaged in discussions about parenthood and posed for the cameras with a smile, he harbored a deep-seated concern that a single misstep or verbal slip could lead to significant consequences. It was unexpected that the individual advocating for honesty and discipline had recently welcomed two sons with two different partners. In a matter of days, Mildred Vienna found herself ensnared in a personal ordeal, while Arnold engaged in a precarious endeavor in the public eye. She returned to her professional responsibilities after giving birth to Joseph to attend to Christopher, Maria's newborn. Arnold's publicly acknowledged child received daily care, including feeding and changing, while she discreetly raised his other son in her own residence. It seemed like a gradual unfolding of a tragic event. Mildred maintained her employment, offered a smile, and assisted with household responsibilities, while observing Maria experience a joy that she could never completely partake in. The dual role of being a nurse and a covert co-parent would cause her significant emotional distress, with lasting effects for years to come. She was concealing more than just a child. The family that placed their complete trust in her remained unaware of the reality. Simultaneously, Arnold undertook responsibilities beyond merely attending to Joseph's needs. He provided financial assistance to Mildred's entire family by covering expenses such as school fees and daily necessities. It is likely that he utilized various accounts to ensure that no activities appeared questionable. This error has occurred on multiple occasions. A discreet lifestyle emerged from it. Arnold provided support to two families over a span of 14 years, one that was widely recognized, and another that remained less known. As Arnold matured, he found it increasingly difficult to conceal the truth from Joseph. He observed his son maturing. However, it is not in the same manner as his other children. It seemed as though he was familiar with Joseph's appearance, behaviors, and demeanor. Observing a mirror that remained invisible to him was akin to that experience. As time progressed, the sense of guilt gradually intensified. He would visit the residence accompanied by Mildred and Joseph. Arnold would interact with his son as if he were the housekeeper's child. Consistently unable to express paternal pride, the seemingly calm discussion evolved into a source of significant distress. As Joseph matured, his features increasingly resembled those of Arnold. His appearance, posture, and manner of speaking. The reality was starting to be revealed. Arnold subsequently acknowledged that by the time Joseph reached the age of 7 or 8, the resemblance had become so evident that he could no longer refute it. At that juncture, the situation transitioned from a confidential matter to a presumption. Arnold began to experience a growing sense of anxiety. He reassured himself that he could manage the situation by remaining silent, withdrawing, and maintaining control, which was his usual approach. Years later, he remarked, "That's my approach to handling matters. I keep it to myself." Nonetheless, the challenges were increasing. He and others were unable to eliminate the parallels. He started to transfer additional funds to Mildred discreetly. All payments were required to remain confidential. Visits needed to be conducted in a relaxed manner each time. It required some time to comprehend each word. The situation started to deteriorate. In the summer of 2010, 13-year-old Joseph Baena was visiting the Schwarzenegger residence with increased frequency. His presence had remained steady, yet there was now a noticeable change. It became evident to others. Staff members engaged in hushed discussions behind closed doors. The manner in which Joseph walked, the way he smiled, and even the contour of his jaw all bore a striking resemblance to another individual. He resembled someone else distinctly. Arnold bore a resemblance to him. The similarity could no longer be overlooked. It was no longer merely speculation. Maria Shriver, who had invested 2 decades of trust in Mildred Baena, started to become aware of it as well. The atmosphere in the house became quite strained. That was an experience universally shared. Joseph had been an integral part of the family's life for many years. However, upon reaching the age of 13, his presence became increasingly prominent. Arnold's distinct Austrian features had faded away. The secret could no longer be concealed. Maria ceased her attempts to conceal it. For several months, the truth had been pursuing her relentlessly. Indeed, she proceeded directly to Mildred. Avoid engaging in trivialities or displaying weakness. There is a singular direct inquiry. Was Anthony Arnold the father of a son? At that moment, everything unraveled. Mildred refrained from discussing it. It did not concern her. She experienced a significant emotional collapse. The incident occurred within the confines of the residence. She became emotional and stated, "Yes, he is, and I sincerely apologize." Marilyn had never disclosed this to Arnold. That truth had been hers alone for over 13 years. The woman had been employed in the same residence. She remained silent as she observed her son develop alongside his father. At this moment, she experienced a profound sense of guilt, while Maria remained speechless upon hearing the statement that would alter the course of her life indefinitely. However, what followed was even more unusual. Maria remained silent. She did not remove Mildred from the premises. She genuinely knelt beside her. She navigated the tears alongside her. It was her opportunity to take the stage that did not align with her expectations. Maria advised Mildred to remain at least until the holidays, when she proposed to depart, pack her belongings, and leave. This was not an emotional reaction from a spouse who felt misled. This was a matter of restraint. This was an unexpectedly poignant experience of sadness. No one anticipated it, not even Mildred. Following 2 decades of commitment and subsequent betrayal, Maria responded not with wrath, but with compassion. As they embraced, tears flowing, both found themselves in a state of profound vulnerability. While it did not alter the reality of Maria's dishonesty, it revealed her true character. Maria approached the situation with a thoughtful demeanor and took the necessary steps to address it effectively. She approached the situation with intelligence. She paused after discovering the truth. She informed Arnold later. Despite her frustration, she refrained from undermining his achievements. It was not completed until January 4, 2011. The following day marked the conclusion of Arnold's tenure as governor. Subsequently, she shared the information with everyone, but she did not do so in isolation. She accomplished it during their therapy sessions. Please allow the doctor to pose the question. It was unavoidable. Arnold was apprehended by the police. Subsequently, he remarked, "I believe my heart had ceased." This illustrates the extent of his pain. It transcended a mere family narrative. The situation presented a complex political landscape. Maria chose to wait until the office was empty. Despite preparing to depart, she safeguarded his memory. Maria demonstrated remarkable strength behind the scenes, effectively managing to plan, despite facing significant mental challenges. Subsequently, there was a response that was unparalleled. However, Maria continued to protect what was essential. There was a possibility that she would have communicated the news. She had the opportunity to disclose all of this while Arnold was still in office, which would have effectively ended his career with a single report. Nevertheless, she did not. She persevered. Despite the widespread discussion, she chose not to respond. There was minimal conflict due to her concern for their 4 children. Individuals were not removed from the premises upon the birth of their son Joseph due to the sense of betrayal involved. Family events, holidays, and birthdays were enjoyable for him, and Maria consistently refrained from making negative comments about him in public or utilizing him for her own purposes. Arnold stated it himself. He remarked that Maria deserves an Oscar for her exceptional handling of the breakup. He may have been correct. She opted for tranquility despite the pain in her heart. It was her decision. She chose to extend her support to those who had caused her pain. The treatment session was the most engaging aspect of the entire experience. Arnold was not expecting it to occur. The counselor inquired directly, "Did you father a child with your housekeeper?" There was no preamble or caution. It was simply a matter of fact, exhibited a bullet-like effect. Arnold was taken by surprise. He was unable to avoid it. His body ceased functioning before his mouth responded upon hearing the words, "Could you please provide details on the situation?" His heart ceased to function. The individual had exhibited courage before cameras, audiences, and critics, yet now he found himself in a therapist's office, where a single question had led to his unraveling. The secret was ultimately revealed, after being concealed, since 1996, the year Joseph was born during the filming of Batman and Robin. After 15 years of secrecy, that day marked the unraveling of everything. The lie he had told had transformed his family, his career, and his entire life. Despite everything, Maria ultimately chose not to escalate the situation. She made the decision to leave the marriage. She did not eliminate what remained. However, she managed the family's needs. She ensured the children's safety. Even the individual who embodied her most profound suffering was accepted. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Maria Shriver were previously regarded as one of the most influential couples globally. It encompassed the allure of Hollywood, alongside the elegance of American aristocracy. Maria's life took a significant turn in 2011, when she discovered that Arnold had fathered a child with their maid. She promptly initiated divorce proceedings. The outcome was more than just a division that occurred subsequently. The operation was permitted and continued for a duration of 10 years. Most high-profile divorces conclude within 2 to 3 years, even those that become particularly contentious. Their relationship, one of the longest in Hollywood history, concluded in 2021. What is the rationale behind this? A substantial amount of revenue accumulated over numerous years. Arnold generated income through his film career and his political endeavors. Maria contributed the substantial resources of the Kennedy family, along with her own achievements as a reporter. Between 2011 and 2021, there was a notable lack of significant events. There were inquiries regarding whether efforts were being made to improve the situation. Were the challenges faced by the lawyers in dividing the assets insurmountable? However, there was one factor that ultimately contributed to the resolution. Kate Christina, Patrick and Christopher comprised their 4 children, all of whom reached adulthood by 2021. 2 individuals are concluding their relationship after years of silence, negotiation, and emotional anticipation. No legal disputes or child support obligations were present. Nevertheless, an unusual phenomenon began to emerge amidst the turmoil. Lawrence Arnold's connection with Joseph Baena, the son he shares with the individual who contributed to the dissolution of his marriage. It required some time for them to develop a close relationship. In 2022, Joseph indicated that a period of waiting was necessary for the dynamics between them to align appropriately. He mentioned that it required some time for us to reach a serious stage. Engaging in physical exercise proved to be beneficial. Arnold assisted Joseph in achieving his fitness goals by guiding him through workouts and providing support during moments of isolation. Joseph was removed from the basketball and soccer teams during his teenage years. His relationship with Arnold transcended mere exercise, as he played a pivotal role in fostering Arnold's development into a strong, confident young man who bears a striking resemblance to his father. Arnold initiated a conversation with his son regarding his challenges, interpersonal connections, and aspirations moving forward. Please provide me with all the necessary information. Please provide details regarding the narrative. Joseph inquired. Please provide details about the girls. They were observed biking together in Toronto in 2024, during the filming of the 2nd season of Arnold's Netflix series Fubar. Conversely, Joseph has drawn only a single line throughout his experience. He chose to retain his mother's surname. His statement, "That's the last thing on my mind," indicated a desire to pursue his own path. While he shares a close relationship with his father, he prefers to maintain his independence. The error, conversely, has remained with Arnold ever since. The 2023 Netflix documentary, Arnold, presents a unique perspective on his life that has not been explored previously. At the age of 76, reflecting on a life marked by fame, power, and failure, he presented an unvarnished account. He stated, "I'll have to live with it for the rest of my life." No one acknowledged Arnold as the action star who accomplished every challenge. This individual did not navigate political challenges. Rather, he acknowledged that certain issues are beyond resolution. The film illustrated the impact of the scandal on his marriage, family, and public perception within the political sphere. Throughout his 8-year tenure as governor of California, significant challenges arose. He pursued the American dream, yet he uncovered one of its most profound realities. Success does not alter the past. There are instances where certain damage remains irreparable, regardless of one's strength or capabilities.